Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. There was once a king who had a great fascination for paintings. So he invited the painters, the artists from his kingdom, to present a painting that would depict peace. Now the day of selection comes in, and the king selected 2 paintings from the large collection. One of the paintings depicted a calm lake with transparent waters, mirroring the mountains surrounding it with the beautiful blue sky, and along that were white, fluffy clouds. Anyone who saw this painting found it to be a perfect masterpiece. The second painting also had mountains, but they were rugged, dry, bare, and above that was a dark, angry sky with a massive downpour of rainfall, lightning streaks, and on the other side of the painting was a ferocious waterfall rumbling down. Anyone who saw this painting would question, peace? Where is peace in here? The king looked at the painting a little more closely, and he noticed that amongst this waterfall, that rumbling waterfall, he saw in the midst of the crack of a rock was a little branch growing out. And on that branch, a mother bird had created a little nest. Within that nest, she was very peacefully feeding her little ones. Which painting do you think that the king select as its winner? Yes, the second painting. The king went on to explain that peace does not mean the absence of chaos, of problems, of trials and tribulations. Peace does not mean the absence of noise. Peace means to be amongst this entire mayhem and chaos of life, and in spite of that, be able to stay calm, focused, and yet be able to make that inward journey. My brothers and sisters, it's been more than 12 months that we have been in this pandemic. And this pandemic has caused us to make a lot of involuntary changes and adjustments in our lives. Many have found it very difficult to reconcile, especially aspects regarding loss of loved ones, not being able to participate or see them depart, not being able to assist elderly members of the family physically, financial losses, broken relationships, and so much more. And all of this has created a lot of chaos, noise, and inner panic. How do we silence this inner noise? How do we calm ourselves and find peace amongst ourselves? My brothers and sisters, just like that mother bird, in spite of all that noise around her, was able to feed her little ones with a lot of affection and love. Likewise, we are fortunate enough to have our spiritual parent, our Imam, who is constantly showering his blessings on us and sending guidance our way. We are fortunate to be blessed with the shield of protection that the Imam has been able to weave around us through the network of institutions, through the network of our volunteers. We would be able to appreciate these blessings only if we can acknowledge it. Quran, it has been said in Surah Al-Baqarah, in Quran Pak, in Ayat 115, wherein Allah says, wherever you turn, there is a face of God. It is up to us how we look at this face of God. Yes, it is true that we may find ourselves sometimes sad, lonely, nervous, but let's remember that we are never alone. We are always guided by, blessed by our Creator, and we have the Hidayah of our Imam. Let me share with you a story of this little boy who always, every year, made a journey to his grandma's house with his parents. So the process was that they would take a train, go to grandma's house, spend 2 weeks there, and then come back. So this year, he thought he wanted a change. So he tells his father, "Dad, I'm a grown up boy now. Can I go to grandma's house all by myself this year?" After a brief discussion amongst the parents, they agreed. So the day arrives when the departure has to happen. The boy is sitting in the compartment of the train by the window seat, and the parents are standing outside trying to give him those last minute tips. Now, the boy had heard all of those tips so many times, as parents would normally do. So he tells his father, "Dad, you've told me this so many times. I know it all." The train is about to depart. At this point, the father pulls out a note and slides it into the pocket of the boy and says, "My son, at any point, if you feel bad, if you feel alone, pull out that note. This one's for you." The train has now departed. The boy, for the very first time, is traveling all alone. He scrolls through the scenery that goes by the window. Around him are a lot of strangers, hustling and bustling, entering and exiting out of the compartment. Many give him that sad look that he is all by himself. All of a sudden, he starts feeling lonely. Nervousness gets into him. When people look at him strangely, he got uncomfortable. Tears even start rolling out of his eyes. He snuggles into the corner of the seat. All of a sudden, he remembers about that note that his father had put in his pocket. With his trembling hand, he reaches out for that note, pulls it out of his pocket, and he opens to read it. What does it say? It says, "My son, don't worry. I am in the next compartment." My brothers and sisters, when Allah sent us to this world all alone, He also has put down a little note in our pocket. And what does it say? It says, "I am traveling with you. I am within your reach. Just call upon me." My brothers and sisters, we are blessed. Allah is always with us. He is there. His rahmah is with us. He is gracious enough to constantly provide us with all that we need. It is up to us how we acknowledge that. As we approach towards the night of Laylatul Qadr, the night of power, let's use this power. Let's use the power of the blessings. As Allah has said in Quran Pak, in Surah Al-Qadr, Ayat 4, where He says, and I quote, "Peace it is until the break of dawn." Let's find peace on that night. Let's prepare ourselves. Maulana Hajrimam on December 13, 2020 in his Talika says, "It is a matter of great satisfaction that my Jamaat continues to draw inspiration from our historic tradition of facing adversity with unity, resolve, and resilience. And I am convinced that my Jamaat will emerge from the present times with enhanced strength and capacities as we plan for the future. I believe my Jamaat will find comfort and support from the practice of their faith, whether in Jamaat Khanas, where these are accessible, or by way of private personal prayer." One other aspect that I would like to share with you is about the acts of kindness, our actions, our deeds. Let's focus on the actions that we do. If we are able to do those acts that are able to touch the hearts and minds of others, that will not only bring happiness in their lives, but it will also enable us to find peace and contentment in our own lives. One other thing that we have noticed in this whole pandemic evolution is change. There are many a times that there's so much changing that we'd resist it. Let's try not to do it. Maulana Rumi has said, and I quote, "Try not to resist the changes that come your way. Instead, let life live through you, and do not worry that your life is turning upside down. How do you know that the side you are used to is better than the one to come?" End of quote. Let's be prepared to be flexible, to be open to change, to be able to do good deeds. Just like if I had a mug in my hand, if I pour tea in it, and if I get pushed, tea will pour out. If I were to pour coffee in it, and if I get pushed again, coffee would pour out. Likewise is the situation with life. If I have tribulations or problems come my way, and if I have poured patience, compassion, gratitude, perseverance, resilience into my cup of life, into my mug of life, that is what is going to pour out. Whatever I pour within is what is going to spill out. So let's ask ourselves, what am I pouring within my life? What am I filling it with? Think about it and let's reflect and also internalize. This will allow us to find peace in our lives. The last aspect that I would like to share with you is the aspect of faith. Faith in ourselves, faith in our Creator, faith in our Imam. Only if we are able to have that complete faith, we will be able to transform fear into trust, and that will enable a lot of issues to fade away. That will calm us down and will allow us to silence that inner noise. It will allow us to remember that everything will fall in place. Whatever needs to happen will appropriately happen, and blessings are constantly being sent our way. Let us remember that the pilot of our life, our Imam, is constantly with us. Then what is the worry about? What is the panic about? What is the noise about? Let's be firm and strong with that faith. And inshallah, as we prepare ourselves for this Laylatul Qadr, we will be able to utilize this night of power as a springboard to find peace, to find upliftment, and to find strength within our lives, both materially and spiritually. Ramadan Mubarak.